Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the OYE Podcast. What episode are we on now?
In the 50s.
In the 50s. We're on a streak, I feel like.
Well, we've not missed a week in a long time. It's been... Well, we've been around for over a year, so we've clearly missed a handful.
You've been podcasting since the dawn of time, I feel like.
I'm the first podcaster.
Anyway, how was your morning, babe?
Very good. I enjoy some quiet mornings.
I actually, so normally we would usually do this podcast a little bit earlier in the day, but I kind of like that we've been able to go about our own mornings and have a little bit of time to collect our thoughts somewhat, decompress, or wake up. And now we're doing it a little more mid-morning time. How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, more so that I like having mornings together, but when you go to yoga in the morning, it gives me some alone time as well.
I know, it's nice, right? It's good to have that alone time.
Yeah, I was going to go to the gym when you went to yoga, but then I thought to myself, no, I can have some alone time. And I'll work out later. Plus, I didn't want to put the dogs away.
Yeah.
So they got to be out the whole morning.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you had a good morning. I had a good morning also at yoga. And, it's something that occurred to me. I was thinking about it on the mat like I do. And I have all my epiphanies because I'm terrible at quieting down my monkey mind.
I was going to say, aren't you supposed to not be thinking on the mat?
Sometimes I do. There's definitely a lot to be said for meditation and movement. Like, I don't think I'm one of those people that does very well at meditating and just emptying my mind by sitting still. But when we do like a lot of sun salutations at the beginning, oftentimes I'm just like so immersed and absorbed in that rhythm that suddenly at some point it occurs to me like, oh my God, how long have I been doing this? Like everyone else around me is in down dog and I'm like, oh, whoops. I like it when that happens. But anyway, I thought today there's something important that we should talk about.
I'm anxious to hear.
What are your thoughts on the C word? It's something that we hear a lot. It can make you feel a little inside when you hear it. What do you think about it? I wonder if our listeners know what I'm talking about even. Do you know what I'm talking about even?
I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. I knew you have I have an idea. So
I'm obviously not referring to the C word.
Which is the what? What's that?
I'm not going to say it because I can't. It's funny, when comedians use the C word, I like cringe inside a little bit. It really throws me off base.
I don't find any word does that to me.
No?
No
Howard
word.
Stern loves that word.
Yeah, I don't...
He throws it around a lot.
I think that's just my personality. There's no word on this planet that makes me feel emotion like that. I
think it might be...
It's definitely a girl thing.
It's maybe a girl thing, but also a British thing.
No, I mean, it's a very... there are words you can drop in the English language, and while people know they're curse words, they're accepted. I can say the F word and things like shit during...
Whoa. Let's keep this PG.
Well, that's to the point. Like, some of those words are considered PG this day and age.
True.
But, I can say words like that during my lectures at CrossFit or on the road for us, and people laugh.
Yeah.
But if I said the C word at a lecture, it would be like a screeching halt.
I feel like it would be like a bomb went off.
Yeah, like you'd hear the record like scratch. Somebody would inevitably, like one of my coworkers.
You'd be taken aside.
Yeah, would be like, hey, is he drunk? What's going on? So there's definitely that word definitely has that connotation to it. But let's dive more into let's get off the C word and back onto the C word.
Okay, the actual C word that we're talking about.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about comfort. Like being comfortable and being in our comfort zone. That's what I'm talking about.
I like that. It sounds nice.
Yeah, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound wonderful being cozy? And actually, that's what it makes me think of. Like when you're getting out of bed in the morning, what's one of the first things that you normally do?
I poop.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right.
But I bet for the majority of people out there, the first thing they do in the morning is hit the snooze button. Don't you think?
You know what? I think so, but you and I never snooze, so I don't even understand the snooze button.
I feel like you kind of snooze. Because,
What do you mean I kind of snooze?
Because I set the alarm, I get up, and then about an hour later, you...
But that's because I'm not purposely waking up at that time.
Okay. I suppose it's not quite the same as hitting the snooze button.
No, when I decide I want to get up at a time, I never snooze.
Yeah.
When you get up, I'm generally up at that point, but I also, wait in bed because I have to use the bathroom and you're in it. And then I kind of slowly wake up, and I think I spend more time in the bathroom than you think I am, than in bed.
Oh.
You know, I get up and I'm reading, brush my hair.
There's a whole routine. Actually, I was thinking about this earlier. It would be really cool for us to do a kind of day in the life of for all of us on the OYE team.
Most of mine's in the bathroom.
I was gonna say there would be a lot of your day chronicled from the bathroom, I think.
That'd be a cool idea. Let's do that. Let's do that.
I meant to write that down earlier. Anyway, back on topic though. So
most people snooze.
I think so, because it's hard getting out of bed. It's cozy, and who knows, maybe your temperature or thermostat is set to like 68 degrees because your husband's a crazy man.
Oh, I love that temperature, yeah.
Who sweats like a...
I got so hot last night again.
Really?
Yeah, you wanted to... Did you turn the temperature up?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know what's
you were
wrong
saying
with you.
you were saying don't put it at 68. I put it at 68 and I was still sweating.
Oh my gosh, well there's something wrong with you then. But anyway, so when it's cold outside your bed and it's nice and warm and cozy under the covers, it's so hard to get out of bed. You have to do something. You have to forcefully get yourself up eventually. But ideally, you don't hit the snooze button 10 times. And I think, that can kind of cascade into all other areas of our life where we're just constantly hitting the snooze button or, putting things on the later base, as my sister likes to say.
What's it called?
The later base. Some funny.
Who says that, Carrie?
No, my little sister. She thinks it's hysterical. She's like, oh yeah, what? And she uses that language like whatevs. It's like, stick it on the later base. Like, she's a very it can wait till tomorrow kind of person. I don't know that we're from the same family, but anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? How do you kind of... Why is it that we don't hit the snooze button? And how do you start driving yourself to become this kind of person that isn't constantly being comfortable and essentially just not challenging yourself in your day-to-day?
That's a good question. Well, for one, someone once said to me, what would you prefer, comfort or discomfort?
Right.
So what's your answer?
just that's the question. No
That's
background
it. Yeah,
information.
just what do you want, comfort or discomfort?
I think everyone in this world wants comfort.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And then the follow-up question was, what do you prefer, comfort or growth?
Oh, now there we get to
So-
the meat of the question.
Right. So really with discomfort comes growth, ideally.
Yeah.
You can be uncomfortable and just not growing, like you didn't pay your bills and the electricity's off. That's not the point. Right?
That's a good example.
That's uncomfortable as well. But when you're purposely making yourself uncomfortable with the pursuit of growth, that's going to be better.
And when you're doing that.
Yeah, and I think most of the people listening to this are those people, right? We're not having a lot of people without power listening to our podcast.
Sure, but I think, it's easy for us to say, hey, you need to find some discomfort in order to grow, but how do people go about doing that? We say, okay, for example, with tracking your macros or with your nutrition, we ease people into it, right? Start off slow, just start simply, track your food, track what you're eating every day. But what are some other areas of your life maybe that you can start implementing these kind of techniques so that there really is this domino effect, and it encourages you to be active and find discomfort in all areas of your life.
Well, I think there's some obvious ones like the gym. But I do think it does start with that snooze button's a good starting place.
Yeah.
Like Jocko calls the snooze button the kill your dreams button.
Oh, I love that. It's so true. And I think that's so simple. That's such a simple step that you can start taking, like literally tomorrow. Set your alarm for the actual time that you want to get up.
And just get up.
And get up. Don't hit snooze. Why are you hitting snooze?
I mean, that's something I didn't ever purposely learn to not snooze, but as a kid, I just never did. It was, what time do I need to get up? I remember my alarm was, on the other side of the room. It was
that's helpful.
Radio that my stepfather gave me for my birthday that I had for years that I recently threw out because I still had a CD player in it, and I don't have any CDs anymore. But even beyond that, always it was that alarm, whether it was across the room or beside the bed. There was never the option of snoozing. I know part of it, I can remember back to in college, my freshman year college roommate, Sam, he used to snooze. And I would get so mad at him. Because I didn't have to get up necessarily.
Wait, you shared a room? Like a bedroom?
In my freshman year.
Okay. It's so foreign. It's such a foreign concept for me.
That was the only year that I had to share a room. And
so funny.
So he would snooze a bit.
That would drive me insane. I had an ex actually who would do that, and it did drive me insane.
No different than when you set the alarm. At least you get up though.
No, the only times I might snooze is if I've not slept in the night.
You don't snooze. You just shut the alarm.
Oh, right.
Right. So I think there's a slight difference.
Right.
It's like when you set the alarm and you're snoozing, it's like you're just.
Yeah, you're
ruining your morning because most people have to rush out.
Because you're not actually getting more good quality sleep.
That's how
all you're doing is delaying the inevitable and probably making yourself late to something and stressed.
Or stressed, right. And that's how I always looked at it. It was always like, why do I want to get these crappy intervals of 9 minutes?
Yes.
Or whatever a snooze is versus just...
Snoozing is such a waste of time.
Because I remember having this conversation again, like in high school. My buddy Jordan would be like, when we would have like a sleepover, say we had to get up at 8. I don't know. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to set the alarm for 7:30 so we can snooze 3 times. And I was like, just set the alarm for 8 and let's get up. I remember that conversation specifically.
How old are you?
I was probably, 16 or 17.
I think there must be, there's 2 types of people in this world. Snoozers and go-getters.
You know what it is when you snooze? There's that instant gratification of I don't want to get up and I can close my eyes right now and fall back asleep. That's what it is. You're choosing the...
It's not gratifying to me
and
at all.
And it is comfort. I do think you're right. There's that aspect of comfort. Like, it feels good. It feels good. Versus, I'm a little tired. I'm going to get up. I'm not comfortable in this moment. But I also know in 3 minutes I'll be fine. So there is that aspect to it when it comes to snoozing. I think some tricks people can. I don't believe there needs to be tricks. I think it's just stop snoozing. But that's just my mindset.
But other than tomorrow,
set your alarm and get up when the alarm goes off.
Sure, but what are some other ways that maybe people can improve their whole kind of perception and ability to endure and accept challenging situations or discomfort? How do you get yourself to just accept that discomfort and kind of be able to sit comfortably with it?
You're saying beyond snoozing now? Yeah,
not just snoozing the alarm. Like, what else can you do?
I think, as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about myself, and I'm just... It's ingrained in me, I think for me it goes back to, I was thinking about yesterday, I'm at jiu-jitsu and I'm in a position where someone is literally choking me, right? Their arm is around my throat, squeezing, and I can get just enough air to not pass out. And I'm like, all right, in my mind, I'm like, you're fine. You're fine, just stay calm. And I think that's just a mindset you have to have.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it has to do with the mindset that you've developed over time.
You have to find comfort in discomfort.
Probably from things that you've done, like jiu-jitsu, has really helped you to kind of be able to shape that sort of mindset. But I think there are, for people, hey, I don't think it's too late for people to get started. It's not like they need to go back in time and wish they had done jiu-jitsu.
No, I agree, but I'm trying to think of
grit. But I think there are some simple things. I think.
So you give me one.
I was just thinking, it just kind of popped into my head because this is something I hate a lot. Like, I hate confrontation, and I think we all do. We hate or we get anxious about the possibility of people saying no to us. So that's something that makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes, and we've done that before. I think in a couple of occasions we've challenged each other to ask for something that we didn't deserve, and kind of overriding that fear of potentially being rejected or hearing no. So I asked at a restaurant not long ago when Jess was here in town.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking.
You were thinking of that occasion. To be honest, I do think we deserved it. But Jason's meal.
She basically forgot to put my meal in.
Yeah, and I could kind of see where the confusion came in.
Our
waitress was very helpful. Oh, babe.
No, Jess ordered a meal. She ordered a filet with a side of mac and cheese.
Oh, right.
And I said, I will take the same thing.
I know. Okay.
And she brought me only the mac and cheese.
Yeah, so whatever. The message got confused. So Jay had to wait like another 15 minutes or so for his main meal.
Which was fine. No one was angry.
But Jess and I had kind of finished our meal by then. We're fast eaters. And it was just kind of disappointing to you because you wanted to have them both at the same time and enjoy them together. Or actually, I think you wanted to enjoy your mac and cheese last, right?
Correct.
Right. Anyway, so the bill comes, or the check comes at the end of the meal. And I said, you know what, I'm going to ask for a discount because you had to wait for your entree. And it wasn't, the experience wasn't what we had hoped for. And you were like all funny about it.
Well, you said to me to ask.
I did say, why don't you ask? Because I guess in my mind I was like, hey babe, you had to wait for your meal. You should ask for a discount. But anyway, so Jay went off to the restroom.
I had to be. I really did.
Fine.
And
the
you
waitress
asked,
came by, so I decided I would ask. And
you got the discount.
And we got, what, 20?
I think at least 25% off.
I think it was 25%, yeah 25%
and
off.
you hear of challenges like that, the Starbucks challenge.
I think that's a great one. And you should definitely ask for discounts in your Starbucks because they are just completely overpricing them.
Well, there's a few different ones. There's the one where you literally just lay down.
Oh, in a store?
In a store for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that would be actually hysterical.
And then I've heard of two others. One is Starbucks where you just ask for 10% off.
Yeah.
You just say, hey, can I have 10% off?
And here's a like really easy example of how you can do it because I get that it might be a bit embarrassing to do it in your local Starbucks where you go every day. So if you're traveling or you're out of town, do it somewhere where you're like, hey, this person's never going to see me again. Start small, like start simple. And then you'll slowly start to build up the courage like, hey, once in a blue moon, somebody says no, or maybe it happens 3 out of every 10 times, whatever it is. But you just start to become very accustomed to that feeling.
I think you're right. It's a matter of getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Those types of things, I'm less like, I can have someone choking me for 2 minutes and
funny.
I'm fine.
But you would not go into Starbucks and ask for a discount.
No, or what about the one where you say...
I would do that kind of thing.
You get a hamburger somewhere and then you ask for a refill.
Oh, yeah. I really want to try that.
Yeah, we say, hey, can I have a hamburger refill?
Or better if you go to a donut place. In fact, I did do that at, what's that place called? It's the donut place in downtown Boston. It's so good.
You were better at the public ones.
It was
like
my
that.
birthday, and I had a donut, and then I went back up to the counter, and I was like, "Can I get a second donut for free?"
And did they give you one?
I said, "It is my birthday," and she was like, We don't typically do that, but okay.
You know what it is? Cool. Just cute girls can get it. You guys don't realize.
I was talking to a girl.
Yeah, but girls can get away with it.
No, disagree.
Cute girls don't understand what it's like to go through life. All women.
What are you talking about?
You just have it easier.
No, this is false. False.
So,
hey, I was a teenage girl through school. I had to go through puberty in an all-girls school. It was not fun.
Okay. So, point is,
I want to know what that donut shop's called now.
You do have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and those are different challenges. But I agree. I think for me, as you're going through this, like, my discomfort is often in social situations. I actually think of our buddy Vince.
Right.
And this can go into our discomfort a little more.
Okay.
Right? So.
I don't know where it's going.
Well, no, Vince is just like crazy. Right? And he's awesome and like just outgoing and personable. And like, I know for him, like, he can be around anybody. He's the kind of guy that's going to run up and scream and give you a hug and be super.
He's like, you know, when you get to about 5 years old and you start going to kindergarten or school and you start listening to your teachers and you're suddenly around all these peers and you're basically told how you have to be in this world and that you have to start thinking about being a professional and what you want to do when you're older. It's like Vince never went through that experience. It's like he stayed under the age of 5, not mentally.
Yeah, I mean,
but in terms of just owning his personality and who he is, he just doesn't let what society or whatever it is kind of put a stamp on him being him, which I freaking love about him.
But with that being said, I mean, he's a firefighter, right? He has done more, but right, there are aspects of his personality. I mean, he's got a house, he dates our coach Kirsten, like he's got his act together, but I'm not like that. Like when I'm uncomfortable around people, like I'm very withdrawn with my personality, and that's where I'm uncomfortable. So I need.
So that's why you're so quiet when my parents are around.
My challenge would be to be able to be more of who I am around other people when I'm uncomfortable.
Wow, I didn't ever realize that about you. You never give the impression of being uncomfortable in social scenarios.
Well, maybe I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm also just kind of withdrawn.
So when you're being withdrawn, that's you being uncomfortable.
Potentially. I mean, it depends on or maybe I just don't like the people. but typically it's, maybe I'm just not being loud and boisterous.
Okay, I gotcha.
So, speaking of that, we're talking about comfort. Let's relate it to nutrition. We're hanging out Saturday night, and Vince, it's like 10 o'clock, we're watching Happy Gilmore, and he's like, I want to order a pizza. And Kirsten was there. She was taking her level 1, and she's like, no, control yourself. Like, we were all not over our numbers, but at our numbers. So, where does that fall into our nutrition when it comes to comfort? Like, he would have been more comfortable having a pizza.
Yeah, well, I think it completely relates to our nutrition and how we manage to stay on track every day, because there's plenty of occasions where at the end of the night, I'm like, damn it, I want to go finish that pint of ice cream in the freezer. And that would be really comfortable.
Is there ice cream in the freezer?
I think there might still be
some. Do I have some Ben & Jerry's?
No, you finished the Cherry Garcia.
But you got me another one too, you said.
No, I didn't.
You ate it.
No, I got there's a really good...
No, there was another one.
Side note, so there's a Ben & Jerry's, it's called PB Muforia. It's a low fat...
You ate it?
No, there's like some left, but not much.
I haven't touched it.
I bought it.
For me?
No, I bought it for me. I ate half of it and then I told you about it because I was like, hey babe, do you know about this? It's like the frozen yogurt ones. Whatever, okay, it's my ice cream.
So anyway, let's relate all of this, because really I don't feel like we've given a good tip out. What's our tip?
I think we've given plenty tips.
Just be uncomfortable? That's not a tip.
No, but you need to be able to sit with your discomfort. So I think what we're saying is, hey, doing this every day and getting better at showing self-control and sitting comfortably with your discomfort will help you to develop that sense of, oh, I am actually getting better at this. I'm able to show self-control more easily.
Well, and I don't think it has to always be self-control. Like, for example, yesterday I asked you, I'm writing a new book. And I said, can I bring someone on to help me write it? And you said no.
I tell you what, I didn't say no.
I
said, why do you want to bring someone else on?
I'm not knocking you for saying no. I think it was a fine answer. But the point is, I was trying to bring someone on because I was uncomfortable and didn't want to have to sit down and write every day.
Jay hates these long projects.
Right. So it was good. And I said fine. And I'm going to hold true to that. So now I have to be uncomfortable every day.
So what's your step? Yeah, what are you going to do in order to...
I need to find time every day and sit and dive into it.
Schedule some time every day to do a little bit of writing.
And that's really what it comes down to. Like, when I said we didn't give a tip. Obviously, there are times where your discomfort, you just need discomfort, and there's no, this is making me better or anything. It's just, no, you can't have that because it makes you comfortable. Mm-hmm. Just like you can't rob a bank to have $1 million, that would make you more comfortable. We have laws and rules and regulations to stop that, right? Same with your pizza. Like, you can't just have pizza because you're uncomfortable. Like, you have to, there are some things that it's not necessarily about finding comfort and discomfort. It's like, hey, this is what's getting you towards your goal.
So I think what you're trying to say is sometimes you just really have to embrace the suck.
Suck it up.
Suck it up, buttercup.
Right. And I make this story, no matter how much you and I have reverse dieted, I still, at the end of the day, want more food. Mm-hmm. Especially, yesterday for some reason I was hungry all day, probably because I was gone on the weekend. I was tired, and ate throughout the day. And then I came time for a snack, and I had oatmeal, and I had a Lindy and Larry's cookie. It was like 8:30. We were chilling out early, and I wanted more. Mm-hmm. But I laid there, like I didn't even mention it to you, right? I just laid there and watched, Netflix with you and went to bed. So it would have been easier to be like, what's in the kitchen? What's in the refrigerator?
And so maybe that's kind of the next step that we need to, or helpful tip that we need to leave people with. What can they do?
Well, then there's...
when they're feeling that desire to eat more, or go off their numbers, or just kind of throw in the towel, whatever it might be.
These are two different things, because that's like our livelihood and our passion and helping people with their nutrition. What can they do there versus what can they do to purposely make themselves uncomfortable to grow?
Yeah, right? I agree. Different things, but just some quick tips. So like last night, did you do?
I didn't do anything. Like, I just know. It's kind of like we've discussed with willpower. Mm-hmm. It wasn't an option. I don't know, like... That's where I'm very, I have
For people who need some tips out there, what would you suggest they do?
That's the thing. It's hard for me in that scenario to give a tip because it's very easy. Well, all right, how much food do I have left? None? Okay, don't eat.
All right, here's some tips I can give you, people.
No, but you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
And by saying that, I'm telling you the tip is you need to know what your goals are in life and know what it's going to take to get there, and understand that you have to challenge yourself through that. And in addition, part of it is actually questioning your hunger. So I'm looking at that like, all right, I'd like a little bit more of a snack, but I'm okay.
Right. Questioning whether you are in fact hungry or whether you're just a bit tired, and also I think reasoning through, hey, this is what I just ate. There's not really any, for my whole day and whatever I just had for my dinner. There's not really any reason why I should be hungry right now.
And I had tons of good quality. I mean, I had over 1,000 grams of fruits and vegetables. Like,
right.
I was fine. So what's your tip for that?
Well, I think, whilst you're working on trying to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable, I think when you find yourself in those scenarios or you're tempted to eat more, or you want to eat more, some helpful tips might be have a big glass of water. I'm sure you've heard that before, but I'm telling you, it freaking works.
Yeah.
I grab my giant bottle, I fill it up, and I drink about half of this thing, and about 5 minutes later, I'm not hungry. I'm fine.
It's funny, because lately I've been seeing a lot about like intuitive eating and stuff, and like, if you're hungry, eat. That's like, no, because then intuitively I would gain weight. because I don't think any of us are that in tune. Like, I'm feeling hungry, I should eat, right?
Yeah.
Where no, it's like sometimes it's okay to drink water and curb your hunger. Mm-hmm. Like that's another example of just like, oh, you're uncomfortable, get comfortable. Mm-hmm. Cool, and you'll be 300 pounds.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like that's not. I think that's just society in general. It's like, oh, you're uncomfortable, let's make you comfortable. Like, what can we do? And it's like, no, like sometimes you have to be uncomfortable and you have to deal with it. What's so funny?
Nothing. I feel like we caught Jay on like a bad day.
I'm not. No, I'm perfect.
Jay
No.
did not sleep well. He had allergy attacks all night long. Didn't get to yoga.
I wasn't planning on yoga. No, I'm fine. I am tired, but
No, I like it. You're like giving it. You're not sugarcoating it.
and I'm not saying it's just about. I mean, obviously, people that are listening to this listen to us talk about nutrition, and I do think some of that is true. Like, at the end of the day, we're here to help you, but at the same time, you have to help yourself.
Yeah.
I travel every weekend. This past weekend, for example, like I said, I stayed with Kirsten and Vince. I had desire for some snacks on Saturday night, and I didn't do it. It was, for me, this relates again back to that willpower. It's just ingrained in me. There's that when it comes to nutrition. But at the same time, there are other avenues of your life where you're going to need to be uncomfortable to get better. Like you said, well, what can you do about it? Well, for me, with writing, I need to find time, set a clock, a Pomodoro or, a timer, and spend 25 minutes a day just writing on the book. Mm-hmm. So when you say, well, what are some other tips? Force yourself into that discomfort. And if it's putting your alarm on the other side of the room, do that. For months, if not years, I would wake up and when I would poop, I would grab my phone and check social media, right? Mm-hmm. So what did I do? All right, well, I wanted to change that, and for the first week, it was tough. Like, my eyes hurt when I first wake up. So to read was, I don't really want to because it's easier not to. But I kept my phone and computer. They don't come in the bedroom. And then I wake up and read my Kindle. But it wasn't comfortable at first, and now it's enjoyable.
Right.
What else? What are some other things?
I think the big picture in what you're saying is that all of these things take time, and you just have to endure this discomfort over a long period of time.
And you'll learn.
And that's what it is. And eventually it just becomes so ingrained in you that you do it. And you can be uncomfortable in that discomfort. It's not like we enjoy tracking our food every day. Hey, sure, it's fun once in a while to hit 000.
I enjoy it from that perspective of right.
But like, it adds effort. It adds a little bit of stress sometimes. So it's not like it's an enjoyable thing to do every day.
Just the act of you're right.
But it's not uncomfortable anymore. That's the big picture. Like, I do it every day because it's so ingrained now, and it's part of our lives, and I accept that I want to do it to continue to make growth and to enjoy all the foods that I enjoy, and just know that I'm taking care of my nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely. For that reason, and the same reason that whether it's snoozing, you're choosing to stop snoozing because you want to make a change, and if you continue to snooze, you're not going to make that change. When I first started jiu-jitsu and someone started to apply pressure, you would tap immediately because you're like, I'm going to die. And then you would realize, all right, I can last a little longer and not die. Now, like I said, I'm rolling with Zach yesterday, who's a monster, and he gets my back, meaning, it's like my back is on his chest. He's been basically spooning me, if you will.
Wait, so you're the little spoon?
I'm the little spoon in that scenario. He's literally got his, arm around, but you can put your face to choke someone, you need to be choking their throat, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Come here, let me demonstrate it. And if you tuck your chin, you can block it a little bit.
Gotcha, yeah.
So he's got this choke on me, but I'm blocking it, and I'm literally in my mind fine. There's zero panic going on.
You're like, I can lie here all day.
I'm fine. I'm all right, this is uncomfortable, I'm fine. He's going to get, in my mind, I'm like, all right, he's squeezing hard. He's going to get tired. I'm just relaxing. And the more you can relax, the better you're suited to attack when he gets tired.
Ooh, I like that. So relax into it instead of resisting the discomfort.
All right, there you go.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I chill out. To the point that I'll put myself in bad positions on purpose because I'm comfortable relaxing. It's very hard for me to get choked out. Now, you get me in an arm bar or a leg lock where there's no getting comfortable there. Your arm will break.
Yeah.
Right?
That doesn't sound
That's
pleasant.
not what I'm talking about for those of you that know jiu-jitsu. Like a triangle, a rear naked choke, a guillotine. You have to really have that locked on properly to finish it. But people will panic and tap because they think you have it. And the more you think you have it, the harder you go. The more tired you're going to get. So for me, it's a matter of, I'm fine. You're dumb. I'm going to get out of this and I'm going to beat you. That's how I look at it. So it's, so I don't know, like you said, sure, maybe a better way to put that is, I think it goes back to what we said. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And if that's snoozing, if that's writing, if that's tracking your macros, you have to find where you're comfortable in that.
And I think remembering to find these ways in which we can challenge ourselves so that we can grow as individuals in our confidence, in our performance, in all areas of our lives, is, look for ways in which we can challenge ourselves daily, weekly, whatever it might be.
You have to, and I think that's part of it. I think when it comes to me, that's what I think about. I think about, okay, you're on this planet for a certain amount of time. Do you want to just set the alarm, snooze, rush out of your house, go to work, come home, eat dinner, watch Netflix, and go to bed? Or do you want to challenge yourself to get better at something?
Here's what I like to think of. Do you want to grow or do you want to die? Because that's essentially what you're doing. If you're not growing, you're dying, right?
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Awesome.
Shawshank Redemption.
Let's just quote movies.
I think it's great. I think
podcast.
We've talked a long time. And we've said a lot. And I hope that if people are listening, they took one thing from it.
I think they did.
I don't think it's...
I think they took that they need to start doing jiu-jitsu.
No, it's no different doing yoga. For me, jiu-jitsu, in fact, you can make the argument that I'm too comfortable there. Now I want to get better at it, so it's different. That's my, another one of my passions and hobbies. But you would say the same thing about a CrossFit workout. The best in the world just suffer longer. They're obviously fitter. Their heart can do more. Their muscles are stronger. But that person next to you at the box that moves the same weight as you regularly, but just beat you on a workout, was just willing to suffer a little longer than you were.
It's funny where your mind goes when you're in the middle of a CrossFit workout. I was doing Bradley yesterday outside in our garage, and I think halfway through, at the beginning, I'm always so full of hope. It's 10 rounds. It's mainly bodyweight movements. And I'm like, I got this. It's fine. There's 30 seconds of rest built into each round. Totally cool. You get to the 5th round, you're like, holy cow, there's another 5 rounds. And I just start thinking, how do these games athletes do it? And you're totally right. They're just willing to suffer and that little bit more.
Yeah, and when you finish a workout, next workout you finish, just look back on it and think, could I have done one more of something without resting? Or did I need that rest in the round of 9 or whatever it was? And chances are it was no. And I'm not the best at that. I do the same. But I definitely know that it's the same principle. Whether you're getting choked or feel like you can't breathe, it's the same thing. You're going to be fine. And you have to find that. And the same thing on the yoga mat. You're uncomfortable keeping your mind quiet on the yoga mat.
I don't need to towel off my face in the middle of my sun salutation.
Whether it's that or just not, there are people that can't find comfort in meditating for 5 minutes because their brain and all that. So whatever the case is, you have to find comfort in that discomfort, and that's how you'll get better, whether it's at that one thing or everything, and that's where you grow.
Cool.
That's all you need to listen to.
That last 2 minutes. Wow.
All right, let's go get uncomfortable. Undressed.
Alrighty. That's it.
That's it?
I have nothing left to say. I'll let you.
No, you wrap it up. You kicked it off. You wrap it up.
I wrap it up. All right. If you have any questions, comments, concerns. That's what you always like to say.
Say I'm making you uncomfortable.
Or any other news or information you want to share with us, please reach out to us on contact@ownyoureating.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends and family. And go be awesome. Go get uncomfortable.
Bye. That's what you always do.